Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I thought that I would just do a sit down video today. I've been wanting to do more sit down videos anyway, but do you know what? I've just got like this brain block of like I don't know what to film. And because I've not really planned it, I just thought, do you know what? I'm just actually going to sit down and talk because I love to talk. I'm obviously looking a lot more positive than I was in my last vlog. I feel so much better. I am no longer poorly. I have more lease. I have more zest for life this week. The house is tidy. I've caught up on jobs. I'm still in my decluttering phase. And I just feel a lot better. So I've just made myself a coffee, and what time is it now? It's 10 to 2, so I've got the school running like an hour and a half. But I just thought I'd sit down and talk about like the year ahead, what my goals are for the year, and how I am becoming just more and more like positive, wellnessy, and just like what my plans are basically for life and the year ahead. This year with like 2 crazy new businesses. So obviously I've got my digital marketing and digital products, but I'm not gonna lie, I initially started to just make money. And then as time went on, I was like, actually, I just really enjoy making my own products. So all about like social media, how to grow on social media, how to land like gifted products and just little things like that. How to approach brands. So I'm currently in the process of writing a branding guide, which will all be all about like approaching brands, and I'm gonna have loads of brand emails in there as well, because in the last 5 years I have banked a lot of brand emails. And so like I've got that, but that's kind of settled down. So when I first joined that last October, I was really like intense with it, and I just really like wanted to be making £10,000 a month like all these people. And then I realised actually, one, I don't have time to do that because these people earning £10,000 are sitting on TikTok lives for like 8 hours, and I don't need £10,000 a month. Like, I just don't. Um, Money is not my driving force. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a nice car, and you know, our goal is to eventually move house into, well, the house that we have like is setting our goals. I would say it's probably a 5 bed house. I think I don't even know how many beds it is. I've never seen a floor plan for it, but I can assume it's probably about a 5 bed. um but it's no like crazy massive mansiony house, and that would never be my goal ever. It's just a really lovely stone built house, the double garage, and which would turn into a huge gym, I'm sure. And it's more than likely got 5 bedrooms, and it's got a really really lovely big garden. Like the and the goal for my house, like our end goal for a house, is not to be like, oh, we've got a really big house. It is to have a safe space for our children when they are teenagers, and just like letting them, all their friends come round, and just knowing that our house is a safe space. They've got their own, maybe a living room, maybe they've got their own living room that they can bring their friends around in and chill, and not have to feel like they're out on the streets, or I don't know, or the garden's big enough to build like an outhouse where they can just again have people around, they can chill, people can sleep in there if they want. Like Josh's cousins, they have like a bit of an outhouse thing, and their family home has always been the go-to for all their friends, and I just think it's such a lovely thing. And just like his auntie and uncle, just knowing that the children are safe in the garden and all the friends are safe and everyone's come round and everyone feels comfortable, like that is my goal. So the goal isn't to just like have a big house to just say we've got a big house or look like we've got a big house. It's more just having that like sort of freedom for the children as they get older. And also I spend 90% of my time at home. Like, and as much as I do love this house, and I thought it the other day, I was like, I do really genuinely love this house, but we would 100% outgrow it by the time the kids are teenagers, because I am sat at the bottom of the house and that is the front door there. So because it's all open plan, obviously there's nowhere for anyone to go. downstairs, and then I don't want to have like bedroom children. I don't want children that just spend all the time in the bedroom because they feel like they can't sit downstairs, if that makes sense. Again, I completely get that we are maybe lucky to even be in that position, but of course luck comes with like working hard and putting time and effort into things and building platforms, building businesses, building yourself up the career ladder or whatever it is that you do. Josh always says that he's not a huge believer in luck at all. Like, people create their own luck, and I do agree. Other than obviously these small factors like health issues, illnesses, maybe what kind of child you have to look after, whether the child has disabilities or you know, something that might prevent you from working. Obviously single parents, but then again I know a lot of single parents who've literally worked their ass off to change their lifestyle and do everything themselves and stop relying on universal credits and things like that. So other than like actual health issues, I am a huge believer in you create your own luck, really. So yeah, that is where I'm like, our goal, our top goal in life is to move house. Even if it's in 5-10 years, 15 years, I don't know. Well, no, 15 years, the kids will be like 20. The digital product side of things, I'm kind of focusing more on my own now rather than trying to sell these really big courses. Don't get me wrong, I do think the big courses are great for anyone wanting to set a business up, because it teaches you so much about social media and all the avenues that you can go down. There's a lot of mindset talks. I think if anyone needs like an initial investment to then create a business, then these big courses are great. But I'm kind of like going off. I'm not focusing now on just trying to sell them, because it just doesn't sit right with me to sell them to people, to promise them that they're going to make £10,000 a month. I would rather sell it to people who actually want to use the course and create a business from it, if that makes sense. Then obviously I've joined the travel industry. That was mainly to save on my own holidays, because we go on holiday like, well, probably twice a year, and then UK trips as well, because you can save on UK hotels and things like Ho Seasons. There's really good deals on Disneyland Paris. We're going to Lapland next Christmas as a full family, so obviously there's going to be like 12 of us, I think, so I want to book that for everyone to just make sure that we get a good deal, and then I can get the commission back on it and just split it between us all. And with that as well, obviously I can sign people up underneath me, but it's not really a business that I'm like fully pushing. I'm not spending every single day on it. It's just something that's going to kind of run in the background a little bit. I might do like 1 or 2 posts about it a week, because the main reason why I have done it is to save on mine and my family's travel, and just become a travel agent. But obviously if anyone else wants to do that, then I am of course going to help them do that. And you know, people are running 6-figure businesses in this travel industry. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to do that, because who wouldn't want to be earning 6 figures? Although I've just said I don't want to earn £10,000 a month, but that isn't my goal, basically. If I gradually randomly got there and I was like, oh wow, like I'm here, but it's not like my goal. My goal isn't to be running a travel agent business full time and earning 6 figures a year. It was just, as I say, just a little bit on the side to save my own travel, but if it's going to make me a little bit of money as well, even if it was an extra £100 a month, like pennies make pounds, and all these pockets of income created into one bank account obviously make more money. And then next is obviously I've got my Motherhood to Me community, which I've really slacked on since before Christmas, to be honest, and I really want to get back into it. I do have some plans with that, with my friend who is also in the fitness industry, and we basically are clubbing together to create something for it, because she wanted to do that anyway, and then I wanted to do it, and we were talking about it a few weeks ago, and we were just like, why don't we just do it together? Because it seems very silly for you to do it and me to do it under 2 different names, and then it'd feel like we're kind of like not competing against each other. But basically I said to her that I am quite busy with all these little things that I do, like YouTube, content creation, obviously trying to sit down and create digital products. And then the travel industry really doesn't take that much time at all, especially not right now. I mean, I literally signed up 2 weeks ago. And then obviously just school run, school hours. I've got Indy at home 5 days a week, four days a week, 5 days a week. So I don't have loads of time anyway. I literally have between the hours of 9 and half 3 on a like two to 3 days a week to get all of this stuff done. So I was like, if you join forces with me, then I have someone else to help me push it, and someone else to help me run more posts on social media, and someone else to help me with the marketing side, because right now I feel like I'm balancing a lot of plates, and that is a huge passion of mine. But because right now it's not making me any money, I obviously can't really put that first, because things like YouTube have to come first, content creation, and then digital products, because that is what is bringing me an income right now. So the motherhood to me, even though it is my main passion to help women feel better about themselves, especially postpartum, and just know that they will get their spark back, they will find a new energy, they might change the course of their life, and just ridding like toxic energy, everything like that. Like, that is a huge passion, but right now it is just not paying, so I can't put all my time and effort into that. So I was like, if me and you join forces and create this thing that we are both thinking of, then obviously it's going to make it a lot easier for me. And once the system is set up, it is just marketing it, which again, I need to just become a lot more like sit down and really plan my content. So today I've actually just filmed like 5 different content clips just to have and use across the next few weeks, because that is what I really slack on with creating content, is actually doing it. I always see this content and think people have just like randomly walked downstairs and just film part of the day, but no, people actually plan to film these videos, and because I'm not doing that, that's why I feel like I'm slacking a little bit. So once these systems are set up with the motherhood to me stuff, I feel like I'll just plan in my like content days, marketing days, and I want to start doing more wellness events as well with it. But again, if my friend does that with me, it will just make it so much easier, because I've got someone else to help me organise it, because organising a wellness event is actually quite hard work. You've got a lot to think about. You've got the venue, you've got what is actually going to be there, you've got the pricing, you've got trying to sell the tickets, you've got obviously marketing it. Like there is a lot that goes into it, and sometimes my brain, once I actually sit and think about it, I'm like, my brain basically just puts me off doing it, because I'm just like, it just feels really overwhelming to me. But if my friend kind of joins forces, then we can just maybe have a meeting and be like, right, this is what we're going to do, this is where we're going to do it, this is what it's going to break down at, like, this is how we're going to sell tickets. And like, I just feel like it will be a lot easier having someone else doing that with me, especially someone that's also very passionate about like postpartum and just general like wellness for women. And then I don't know, I just feel like my passion for life is just to help people live better and more positively, and just like get a zest for life. And I think because I finally feel like I'm getting my spark back a little bit, I've always been a very positive person. Like even before kids, I was very into like manifesting, just positive thinking, just seeing the good in everything. And even if something bad happens, just sort of thinking, right, well, if this hadn't have happened, maybe this would have happened, which is an even worse situation. Or, you know, this is why this has happened, it's to teach me this. Or, you know, and I feel like last year I did have quite a negative year off the back of, well, I guess Indy last year was like 1 to 2, but I feel like last year was the start of me finding myself, but it kind of became that thing where it was like I really had to break open a lot of doors and a lot of things to like re-find myself and find out what I actually think that I want from this life, or what I bring to the table. So like friendships breaking down, like toxic people, just career wise, like kind of just getting a lot of no's all the time, or not feeling like I'm really growing, but sometimes I feel like that happens for a reason, because it really makes you sit and think, like, what actually is it that I want? Like, what do I want to bring to the table? So I feel like last year, even though it felt like quite a negative year, it really opened a lot of doors for me to kind of make me realise what I want from life. And I do just feel like I am here to help people live more positively and just be happier and romanticize the little things in life, like a really nice cup of coffee in a really nice coffee mug. Like, my favorite thing to do at the weekend is literally go on a really nice walk with the kids, get Casper on his bike, have a takeout coffee, and Indy on a scooter, and just go on a really nice walk. But obviously that's been difficult because we've had such bad weather, like we've had snow and ice, or we've had loads of rain. The weather is stunning today. If the weather is like this weekend, I am going to be so happy. I cannot even tell you how happy I'm going to be. But like, no matter how much money in the world that you have, like, that will just always be my favourite thing to do on a weekend. But again, we live in the UK, we can't always rely on that. And sometimes I think, like, at the back end of last year when it was really dark and gloomy and we had so much rain and you're not getting outside that much, like, it can really bring you down. And I just feel like getting outdoors is just such a helpful thing for the mindset, and just physically and mentally, to be honest. But I just want to help people, like, feel more positive about money, because I've been there where I felt really negative about money, and it is so soul destroying, like, feeling negative about money and just feeling like you are stuck like on Klarna. Like, I had last year, there was a point where I literally had Klarna coming out of my ears, and I have fully paid off them Klarna debts and deleted that app. Like, it is gone. I was just through that phase where I was like, I told myself at the beginning of last year, no more Klarna. By February, I was like, right, I want that, I'm putting it on Klarna. Now, I'm like, I don't need it. Like, I do not really need any more clothes. And I'm in that phase where I'm actually trying to get rid of loads of stuff out my wardrobe anyway, and just have a really minimal wardrobe. So don't get me wrong, I will invest in a few new things, like a few new pairs of jeans, or like a new blazer that will go and change so many outfits, or, you know, a few nice just plain tops or cardigans that will just change loads of different outfits. But I am no longer putting anything on Klarna. Like, I think that app is so bad, because even at the time, if you've got the money, I used to just be like, oh, well, I've got 200 quid in my personal account, but I'm just going to put it on Klarna anyway, because then I don't have to pay for it now. And it was just like that mindset, like, it's just such a bad place to be in. And I just think, if you don't need it, you do not need to put it on Klarna. Like, if you do not need a new pair of jeans, like, I've got jeans in my cupboard, in my wardrobe, I don't need a new pair of jeans, I want a new pair of jeans. So if it's something that you want, then you just do not need to put it on Klarna. If it's something that you need, like, desperately, I don't know, maybe it's a new Hoover because your Hoover's broken and you can't afford a new one, then maybe you would Klarna it. But I have just stopped Klarnaing clothes. Like, that is gone, and I feel so much better for just not having those, like, little debts in the back of my mind, because I never used to tell Josh that I had it either, because he's always been so much better with me with his finances, and obviously he earns a lot more money than me anyway, so it's a lot easier for him to be better than me. But I just would never tell him, because it was like, he just wouldn't understand, because he would always be like, why didn't you just ask me for money? But I don't like asking for money, because before I had kids, I always used to have my own money, and obviously I didn't have as many outgoings as I do now, so I had a lot more spendable money as well. And I just hate asking for money. Even though he doesn't hate me asking for it, I hate asking for it. But yeah, I just really want to help people feel better financially, physically and mentally. Like, that is just my goal in life. And it's just like, even little things, like, obviously we got a new car, and one of our neighbours walked past the other day, who's probably like, I don't know, maybe in the 50s, and they were like, oh, got a new toy, have you? And we were like, oh, yeah. And he was like, He was like, good career choice then. And he was like, if I was to choose between, like, the career that he does, I'm not going to say, the career that, if I was to choose between this and fitness training, well, I don't know where I went so wrong. And I did feel really bad. But part of me was just like, well, we can't feel bad for this. Like, Josh works really hard. He's really climbed the ladder in his whole career to provide for the family, and like he probably, I don't want to explain this without sounding like, I know money is such a sensitive subject for some people, and I don't want to say it in the wrong way, but he probably will never have that because that is already his view. Like, he already thinks that he will never have it, so he probably never will, because his view is that he's chosen the wrong career and it's never going to pay him that well. If that makes sense. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's like limiting beliefs. You're already stopping yourself from receiving them things because you've basically already told yourself that you can't have them or you are not going to receive them. So even if you're currently in a career that it doesn't pay that well, but if you're telling yourself, well, I'll never have a different career, or well, I'll never be able to afford that, or I'll never get that, then you never will. But if you're in a career that doesn't pay that well, but you're thinking, do you know what, one day I'm going to work my way up, or one day I'm going to get a promotion, or one day I'm going to apply for a job that is 10k plus 10k extra a year, like, that probably will happen because in your mind you have accepted that you are going to get that, or you are worthy of that, and like subconsciously you will work harder towards making that happen because you've already accepted that it is for you and you are able of that. Whereas if you're just looking at someone with a nice car, or going on nice holidays all the time, or, you know, always wearing really nice designer clothes, if that's your thing, and you're just a bit like, God, I'll never have that, then you probably never will, because you've already told yourself that you're never going to have it. So the more that you accept that anyone is worthy of anything, like, there is no one on this earth that is more special than somebody else. It's just that people have accepted that they are worthy of things and accepted that they can do it, and other people have just accepted that they can't do it, or they've told themselves that they're not good enough, or they'll never get that because they're XYZ. Like, it's just fully a mindset thing. And I was in a bad mindset last year with money, just because obviously off the back of having Inde and Casper really close together, and just not really working that much in between, because by the time I really was trying to get back into work, I fell pregnant again, and then it was just like brain fog and just tiredness. And then the days that I didn't have Casper, I just wanted to tidy up and sit down, or get to the gym to just move my body. Like, I just have really lacked in building my own income. And I did have a really negative mindset about money last year, but again, I've just completely flipped that around. And I think even if you've got a negative mindset about money now, it doesn't mean it always has to be that way. Like, you can completely change your way of thinking and completely change your way of life, really. I highly recommend listening to podcasts. Listening to podcasts in the car has changed my life, and I am not even joking. So if I stick on a podcast now in the car, let's say it's a half an hour journey, I'm taking Indy to baby ballet and I'm listening to a podcast for half an hour, I've just listened to half an hour of someone who is in a very good place, whether it's physically, financially, mentally, and they have motivated me. They have given me either an idea or a way of thinking or a way of creating new habits. Like, instead of just listening to the radio or listening to my favourite songs on Spotify, I have gained new information. I have gained positive information into my brain that I will carry for weeks to come, months to come. And if I'm doing that 3 or 4 times a week, I'm constantly absorbing like positive information about money, about goal setting, about friendships, about relationships, about children. Like, I am constantly like absorbing that. So I 100% recommend listening to podcasts, especially if you struggle with anything, sort of mentality wise, or just like really negative thoughts about things, or kind of just a lot of self-doubt. And kind of like, what do you call it? It's like self-bullying, isn't it? Like, some people literally bully themselves, and I've been through that phase as well, where I've literally just basically bullied myself in my own head. But listening to that positive material can just really pull you out of that, because you are absorbing a lot more positive information than you did before, and it's just like they do say, you are like the 5 people you spend the most time with, and I just think it's so true. If you spend time with a lot of positive podcasts, you are going to really absorb that information. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of podcasts out there that are just funny to listen to, like the Girls Bathroom, for example. That is a nice funny podcast, but it's not really like a positive podcast. Like, I recommend Grace Beverley, which is Working Hard, Hardly Working, because she always has some really inspiring characters on there. And then Roxy is it Manifisu? She does one, and then there is the Millionaire Mindset podcast. That is one of my favourite ones. Yeah, so there is the Diary of a CEO. I listen to his podcast quite a lot, with Stephen Bartlett. He has a lot of positive and motivating people on there, whether it's to do with like psychology of people, or people who are like in the fitness industry or health industry, just giving you like loads of tips and just learning. It's just learning, like just learning stuff all the time. Or there's A Millennial Mind by Shivani Paul. I listen to her quite a lot. So like the latest one is Beyond Money, exploring the 5 types of wealth, like top 3 life lessons, unmasking ADHD, 3 best lessons from my conversation with so and so, like different people, 3 things Jay Shetty taught me. And Jay Shetty is obviously the guy that wrote A Good Life, Good Vibes, Good Life, something like that. So he's obviously, yeah. Anyway, what I'm saying is, podcasts are such a great way of getting your mentality in a good place. The High Performance podcast as well is really good, with Jake Humphrey and Damien Hughes. A lot of that is My Gladiator Lifestyle, Beating Anti Joshua, like Bear Grylls has done one, Unleash Your Untapped Potential with Spencer Matthews. There's just so many like podcasts that you can listen to that will just really educate you and pull you out of like a dark place, basically. And lastly, before I leave, like other life plans is, I am still 80-90% sure that I would love another child. I have always wanted 3. I went through a phase kind of at the back end of 2022. No, that was literally when Indy was born. Back end of 2023, early last year, I was like, absolutely done, do not want any more. And now I'm kind of like in this phase, I'm like, do you know what? I just feel like we are meant to have 3 children. But Josh is he's definitely leaning more towards it eventually, but he's not like an 1000% no. But he still is just more satisfied with 2. And part of me is like, why can't I just be satisfied with 2? Like, I really don't know, but I feel like there's just something telling me. But I would just love to be in a great place, like financially, mentally, and kind of just see it as like that first, like newborn again, like being in that newborn baby bubble. Because I think when I had my second, like most people, especially with that smaller age gap, you just do not really get a baby bubble at all. Like, I definitely did not have one with Indy. And it got to the point where towards the back end of it, I wasn't really that excited, but like I would just love to be in a place where it's like, it really excites me, like, and we just all can't wait. And with your first, if that makes sense. So I had a phase, I think it was June last year, where I actually did think that I was pregnant, and I did a positive pregnancy test. It was obviously a pink dye had gone wrong, and I was absolutely shitting myself. I literally cried, and I just was like, God, if this ever happens to me again, I do not want to cry. Like, I do not want this feeling. So when I say I'd like to be in like a really good place if we ever do it, it's because of that. Like, when I did that test and it came up positive, I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like, I just I'm not in the right place to have a baby right now, and I literally just did start crying. Luckily it wasn't actually positive, but what I'm saying is I don't want to feel like that. I don't want it to be like sprung upon me or be like, shit, what's happened, like what have we done. So if it was to happen, it would be something that we'd obviously discussed and kind of agreed to, and something that we all look forward to. And I would like it to be something that we all look forward to with the kids, and then they're excited. It's funny because Indy and Casper both keep asking for a baby brother. Which is quite funny, but I don't know why. They're currently in this phase of just being obsessed with pregnant people and babies. They keep shoving teddies up the tummies. But yeah. Thank you for watching. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's probably going to be about 20 minutes, but I just thought I'd just do a little sit down, catch up, chatty video. I've not done one in absolutely ages, and I just don't feel like I've caught up with life that much on here, because life just has really felt a million miles an hour. But now that I've decluttered my home, and I just feel like I don't come into that much mess anymore, and I feel like I don't have loads to do. Like, I've got rid of a lot of clothes, both mine and Josh's, and don't get me wrong, the kids' washing is, wow, constant. But I just don't feel like I wash as much anymore, because I generally don't have as many clothes as I used to have, which is a really good thing, and it's probably one of the best things I ever did, getting rid of quite a lot of clothes. I probably got rid of like 3 charity bags full, or bin liners, can't remember, and I still probably could go through it again. I feel like you kind of need 2 phases with clothes, because it's them clothes where you're a bit like, don't really know whether to get rid of it or not, like I can't decide. And then if you go through it again a few weeks, months later, and still have never worn it, then it's like, right, it's actually going to go, because I've still not worn it, so it's going. So I'm probably going to go through it again in like a few weeks, my wardrobe, and just get rid of a few more things. And I'm also, in the spare bedroom, we've got like a big chest of drawers and then like a tall skinny one. I'm currently clearing that out to get rid of it, because again, that is just full of clutter. It's full of makeup that's probably like 10 years old. It's just got mine and Josh's pyjamas in as well, but they could definitely go somewhere else. And then the plan is to move the bed up against the wall and put the chest of drawers at the other side, and just create more floor space for like drying clothes and stuff. And then eventually I probably will buy like a single trundle bed, but they're like 600 quid, so I'm not rushing into that when we've already got a bed. So that is my plan across the next few weeks, is to just basically get rid of everything out of them set of drawers and just get it on Facebook Marketplace, and just create more room in there and have less clutter again. And I also need to go through my bathroom cupboards as well, because they're really bad. Well, the new main bathroom is fine, because we have less space in there now anyway. We have less like storage space, but my ensuite, which is tiny anyway, there is so much stuff in there that I just do not need. So I need to go through and get rid of that. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video.